Hello everyone, I welcome you all in today's episode of KNYA Voice. So today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Riya Barar. She is from MIMIR Medical College, Pune, and she did her externship and worked at Cooper Hospital, Bombay for a year. Currently, she is looking for Obs Gynae as a branch in NEET PG counseling, which is going to be scheduled in next week. We wish you all the best, ma'am. And it's a privilege to have with us you here, where she will be telling you that how she have balanced her entire MBBS curriculum alongside being a comic artist. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Akshat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am. So basically, guys, in the series of KNYA Voice, we from the part of KNYA Med took an initiative to guide you upon various options as well as various opportunities right from your MBBS years. And today, before we begin with the interview, I would like to tell you a little about KNYA Med. KNYA Med is on a mission to celebrate medical professionals, and we have a constant mission to provide functional apparels for all the medicos because the duty hours are very hectic. So the least thing which you should be worried upon is your comfort, right? So we would be providing you with all the comfortable apparels for your enhanced performance. So let's begin with the today's interview, and I hope ma'am could really share you some powerful insights. So like first question that I would obviously have is, how did you got the idea to be a comic artist, and basically when did you started the journey, say in medical school or even before that? How did you got it?
Hmm. I think the first time that I ever made a comic for anybody, it was an entire book that I made for a friend back in school. And since then, I've just been making these like little stick figures or framing them and coloring them and giving it to my friends as like birthday gifts. Then, as everybody's side hustle story began during the lockdown, I had a lot of extra time because I was doing my final year from home. And I found my dad's iPad and a pencil lying around, and I just started. It was the idea that I wanted to learn something new, which was like illustrating. And then I just kept going on and on. I was also reading a lot of books about creating your own reality and spirituality, so to speak, at the time. So that was kind of what gave me the inspiration for the kind of content that I put out there.
Right. So that's really amazing. And literally COVID wala year have given many people, a great side.
I swear.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
It's been like horrible in so many ways, but then these little things come out of it and you can find a reason to be like, it's okay.
Right. Also, guys, you can surely check out her Instagram handle. Somehow it sticks. I'll also mention the link in the description. So now in the entire, journey, once you say start of anything, there are many people who want to pull you down. They want to criticize that what's the need. Obviously, since, medical school is itself the toughest curriculum one could have. So you might have also faced some problems of criticism, although some might have supported you. So how do you deal with the negative statements coming out regarding whatever you do?
I think, it's really like weird that you mentioned that. I know that happens in a lot of colleges, but for some reason, my batch and my college wasn't like that at all. Almost a lot of people I know were like interested in other things. Somebody would make like jewelry on the side. Somebody would be really good at like debating. Like everyone had a side hustle, something else going on. So I never really faced any criticism from my peers. And as far as my family and my parents go, they were like really supportive of me doing whatever I wanted, as long as like I knew what I was doing and I wasn't like going off track or anything. And I was careful. I knew where to like draw my lines and not get too carried away with making comics or art. But yeah, I've never really faced any criticism. I think that I'm just really lucky to be surrounded by very supportive people.
Right. So it's very important, like as you said, that one thing is keeping your journey on, at the same time knowing that how much you have to go in that, because sometimes also since you're a medical student, you have your priority number one is medicine, but at the same time you need to also understand to devote a particular fraction of your time to your hobbies. So right.
Absolutely. And surround yourself with the kind of people who lift you up and like want you to pursue your dreams, right? Like why surround yourself with people who say the opposite?
Right. So like, I guess as you said that, you started this thing in lockdown. So basically that was your final year. So final year MBBS, which itself is, the toughest of all. So how did you manage time in that particular period? Because obviously you would be devoting a huge chunk of your time in your studies. So how did you manage time? Time management is something which everyone, would like to know.
Yeah, I think like I'm just going to cut to the chase and be very clear. Like it's prioritizing and all of that, like is very, very important. And of course, what I did was that a few months before my final year exams, I just stopped making comics altogether. It was very difficult for me to like kind of, tell myself ki abhi ye nahi karna hai, but it was just about what was more important at the time. Like it's just about if you can like be present and give what life needs of you at that time. And at that point, what was important was my final year exams. So during the lockdown, I think I did it throughout, except maybe the last 2-3 months. That's when I announced on Instagram also that I'm going on a break. It's been really nice, but I need to like focus on my exam. And I did that.
Right.
And that's what kind of helped a lot.
Right. So definitely. So the key message should be that, you should obviously be following your hobbies, but should always be aware of that, what the moment requires from you, and do not be too much indulged in one particular activity that you may miss out or you may compromise on your main focus. So this is a great thing. So how do you look as the future plans for, comic artists as well as budding gynecologists? Especially the first year residency will again be very hectic, much hectic than the final year MBBS, to be honest. Yeah. So how do you look upon that particular aspect?
So I think first year I have kind of like decided that a lot of drawing and creating new content from my end will not be happening, because again it's a very hectic time and also a very important time in a young doctor's life. So I want to like give it that respect it deserves.
Right.
But I have like kind of pre-planned for it in that I have created a lot of content and kind of kept it ready. And I'll post as and when I get time, and a lot of like new products, because I also sell stationery on my platform. So a lot of new products, I've kind of kept them ready and I'll launch them slowly. And also I'm taking help from somebody I'm going to employ who will help me out with like posting and like sending out and packaging orders, because I won't be home. Right. So yeah, that's my plan.
Nice. So you're learning some more skills also, which are required for that particular sidekick. So that's a nice thing. So basically,
yeah,
yes. Right. Planning for the future and getting prepared. That's very great. Right. So now, many medicos watching this video particularly might also have some non-academic skills which they want to either pursue, or they are thinking to pursue it for a long time, but, due to obvious reasons, they could not make it. So what should be your, message for those people, that how to get started and most importantly, how to keep going?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a very personal decision for each person. So you see where you're at and how you're placed with your academics and the other things that you feel are important in your life. And I think the way to get started is to just put yourself out there, because there's enough of procrastination that you can do from your end and be like, nahi, nahi, baad mein karte hain, abhi ye hai, abhi wo hai. Like, there's always a reason to not do it, but you just have to kind of go out there and do it. And if you feel like, I'm really bad at this, how can I like do it? I was so bad at drawing comics and I still don't think I'm good. Like, I don't know how to draw. That's why I only draw stick figures. I don't know how to draw. So you just have to kind of know that it's a process, and you just keep trying and trying, and you'll put yourself out there, and you learn, you'll grow.
Right. So there's, 100 reasons why you can't do a particular thing. But if you get that one reason to, get it started, so it's better to act on that one decision rather than, keeping all the negative thoughts in your circle.
Yeah. It's about what's important to you at the end of the day. If right. a hobby of yours is that important to you, you'll always make time for it.
Right. So, sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish your hobby from what, the parameters are set. Likewise, suppose if you started your Instagram handle, maybe in, initial months, you might have thought, yeah, itne followers hone chahiye, itne followers hone chahiye. But at the same time, you also enjoyed your skills. So now what happens is many students, in general, people start their hobby. But once, they get themselves indulged in these parameters of social media and all this, sometimes they think that their work is not something worthy. So have you faced any such sort of, not creative block, but sort of, society wala block?
Okay, I totally get that. Like, I feel like I've definitely thought about this for myself as well, because mujhe bhi lagta hai, oh damn, like, I'm still at 1500 or hona chahiye, and all. Wo thoughts aate hain. It's so natural. Like, you can also look at it as these are the thoughts that help you grow. They make you understand how you can get there,
Right.
whatever your personal goal is for like where you want to be in social media. So if you just have to kind of flip it around and ask yourself that question instead of being like, instead of believing what you're thinking. So the thoughts that are coming to your mind, like they're self-critical and they're there for a reason. So if you turn them around and ask yourself, okay, if this is my goal, do I get there? How do I learn? So follow a few accounts that teach you how to like get more engagement on social media, that type of stuff. That's what I did. Also, it's easy to like, base all of this on parameters and the things you see. But I think the most important part is to enjoy what you're doing. Because if you're happy with it, you will feel this extra push and motivation, or even discipline that you will create for yourself to keep going on. And know that nobody gets there in a day. It just happens on the basis of how well you connect with your audience, what you put out there, how much better you get at your craft. So I think the bottom line is enjoy what you're doing and you'll get there.
Right. It's very important.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah, sure. So yes, obviously it's very important to, enjoy the moment and whatever growth you are basically visualizing. So you need to always be confident about the future as well. So, right. So like, sort of a last question that about your support system, how do they help you? What would be your advice to, someone who is watching this particular video and they know that, okay, this particular fellow want to do some hobby. So how should they pursue them on the part of, so a support group? So how did you tell about that?
Okay, so firstly, my support system. So my support system consists of a very large family. I have a very big joint family that I stay with in Bombay, and a lot of pets. I love them and I consider them my support system. And a lot. Okay. Okay, so my support system consists of a very large joint family that I live with. So grandparents, chacha, chachi, everyone together, and a lot of cousins, and 4 pets who I consider my support system. There are 3 dogs and 1 cat, and a lot of friends. So I think support system wise, like I've been really, really, really lucky. And the best way to like create and foster that support system is to be supportive of them as well. And to pick people that are aligned with those beliefs, pick people that have that growth mindset, that want to put themselves out there and do these sorts of things. So I think that's what really helps, and that's what creates a group like that.
Right.
And so second part of your question was advice to people who want to follow a side hustle or a hobby alongside MBBS. So I'd say that it's definitely not easy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having a podcast about it. It's difficult, and you know that better than anyone. He literally came onto this podcast and he was like, "Karna padta hai, bro." He came out from a night duty and he's like, "Karna padta hai, otherwise I'll go crazy." So that's your answer. Karna padta hai, otherwise you'll go crazy. You don't have to fit into a box. If you're a doctor, that doesn't mean that you just have to be a doctor. You can be more. We define our boxes or break them and have no boxes. So depends on you. It's not a rosy picture. You've got to prioritize. You got to make time. Sometimes it's really tough, but you get through it. And as long as you enjoy it, it's okay.
Right. So that are some of the golden words, which someone who is following his or her hobby can only tell. So basically, yes, you need to obviously get that kick from whatever extra hustle that you are doing to keep you going. So I think that was very nice of you to, share your time and guide the medicos as well on this particular topic. And I hope more and more people, follow their passion apart from their regular medical career. So guys, I hope you benefited from this particular podcast, and feel free to, connect with us on all our platforms, as well as please check out Somehow It Sticks. I'll just mention the Instagram handle and link. So thank you so much again for your time, and we wish you all the best for your upcoming journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hosting me, to you, Akshat, and to Kanyaman.